Hello, thank you for joining me today. I'm Amanda, founder of Inspiring Inkin. Welcome to my craft room. In today's video we're going to be making this card. It's using a technique I'm calling acetate watercolour. So let's turn the camera around and start crafting. Let's have a quick look at the products that we're going to be using. It's actually dies and a stamp set. So this is called Tasteful Textures. It's got some lovely kind of grungy style stamps and some really nice sentiments. And then the dies are called Tasteful Background, and there are actually three. Let me just take these two out. So the first one is this sort of fleur de lis, which is similar to this sort of central section here. You've then got this scallop edging, which is really lovely. And then finally, you've got this one. This is the one that I'm actually using today. And just so you can see, it actually doesn't cut the whole shape out. It cuts into the cardstock. It makes a hole, basically, as opposed to a shape that you lift out. I'm going to leave these little pieces in here for the project that I'm going to do today. I will take them out eventually, but I'm leaving them in there at the moment. So as well as that, as well as the dies and the stamps, you are going to need some ink and a spritzer, or a way of getting water onto your work. And also, what have I got? Oh yeah, these are all of the different coloured rhinestones that we have. And these ones are the Noble Peacock rhinestones. So they're the ones I want to get out. Yeah, I think I'll just stick with the blue and the purple ones. I keep all of my embellishments like this in these half-size stamp cases. If you're looking at sort of tidying up your craft room at the moment, these are a great way to kind of contain things. And you can get loads in there. So that's a really good top tip. Okay, so I am working on shimmery white cardstock. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know if ever I'm putting water on a project, I almost always use shimmery white cardstock. Watercolour card is great for watercolouring techniques as well, but it's got quite a lot of texture, and I much prefer the smoothness of this, and it's got shimmer, and I'm hoping that the camera's going to be able to pick that up. And that is always a good thing in my world. So we're going to take that. Now I have got somewhere, that's probably just floated away, a piece of acetate. Oh no. I'm looking for a clear piece of plastic on a table. Okay, bear with me a second. I'm just going to pause the video while I locate that piece of pesky plastic. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, this is why you can't find it. I'm using window sheet, which comes in a couple of sheets of 12 by 12. You can use any kind of plastic that you have for this technique. And then you can either use your silicone mat, or you can use blocks, and I'm just going to show you both ways. I prefer using a silicone mat, basically because I can put all the colours on here all at once, and you might not have lots and lots of acrylic blocks to be able to do this. So I'm going to start out with the blue. So if you're going to use an acrylic block, just get a little bit of ink on your acrylic block, and then I'm going to move that card away. Ooh, I'm hoping I'm in shot. Just give it a little spritz. So you're actually just getting the ink to bleed a little bit with the water. So you can do it that way, or you can do it this way. So get a little bit of re-inker on your silicone mat, and then just put a drip or two of water on there, and then I'm going to do the same here with, that's Petal Pink, and this is Highland Heather, and I'm actually just going to put another little bit of ink in there, basically because I've put too much water on it. But it's okay because I've got some tissue to kind of mop things up. So let's get the piece of paper that we're going to be putting the watercolour on and the acetate sheet. And what you're going to do is you're going to pick up the watercolour on the acetate sheet, and I'm hoping that the camera's going to be able to pick it up. I'm kind of holding it so it's curved. And what this allows you to do, it allows you to place the colour where you want it on the project. Now, I've done all sorts of different watercolour techniques, and you can lay the watercolour down in lots of different ways, but this way is the most accurate, I guess. It allows you to position the colour where you want it. So I'm just going to pick up some colour and then put it down. And can you see how you can kind of move this around and kind of go back? So I'm just going to put a little bit more there, bring it over this way a little bit. And you can be quite specific about where you're putting the colour. So I'm just going to clean that off. I'm going to pick up the pink now, and I'm going to go up to the top with the pink. And then I'm going to pick up the crazy purple because there's so much water on there. And I'm just going to pop that down there. Woo! Okay, so your your acrylic can just kind of pull apart. Okay, so let's just leave that for a second. And with all watercolouring, you kind of have to wait until it dries because it changes. So I'm just lifting off a little bit of the colour now. Now I can see that I need a bit more pink up here. I'm going to bring a bit more blue down at the bottom. So again, just pick up the colour and just dab it where you want it to go. So you can be much more specific about where you're putting things. Okay, and then we're going to be putting some more pink up at the top. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one to dry. I'm actually going to do a second one. I'm just going to put a little bit more ink in so that we're going to get a little darker colours on the next one. So I'm just going to put that to one side and find the other one that I die cut. There we go. Right, so I'm just going to mop these up and just add a little bit more ink. And the same with these. And what I'm actually going to do this time is I'm going to spritz these just so I can just get a little bit less water on rather than a puddle. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to start with the blue. Down here at the bottom. And by twisting it and turning it, you just, all the time, you're just going to get a different effect. Okay, let's dry that off a bit. Now I'm going to go with the purple. And by pressing it down as well, you can see I've got sort of colours mixing here. Let's just do a little bit more of that. Dry it off. Put some more of the pink. Oh, a bit of purple in there. Let's get that all cleaned off. And just dab that over. I'm just going to put a little bit more water on there. And just play with it until you get the effects that you want. But like I said, be brave and just wait until it's all dried. I need a little bit more purple there. So that's just going to be my last little bit. Just there, and then there'll be a bit of purple on the blue. And a little bit of pink there. There we go. Okay, so with the magic of videoing, I'm actually going to let these dry. I'm going to be stamping over the top of them with our standard classic ink, and because it's water based, if this isn't dry, it's going to run. So I'll be back in a moment or two. So this one's had a little bit of time to dry. I'm going to do some more of the assembly first, just to give it another second or two. But I just love the way that these colours pop. And this is going to go on to a Highland Heather piece in a few moments. And you'll be able to see that through. So I'm going to just do the inside of the card. And I'm using the stamps that come with the set. Now, be aware that these stamps are slightly broken. They're designed to be a little bit grungy, so don't think that the stamp isn't working properly. It is. It's designed to be a little broken, and you'll be able to see that as it stamps. Okay, so that's going to be for the inside. A Tombow. And this is Blackberry Bliss cardstock. Okay, so now since I've got some ink on here, I'm actually going to just stamp it off because I want a really pale bit, and I'm just going to stamp a little bit in this corner and in this corner just to kind of pull it together. And then I'm going to use this sentiment. Take time to do what makes your soul happy. I love that sentiment. So let's just ink it up. Yeah, check it's all okay. And I'm using Stays On. I just really want to make sure this is not going to bleed. So let's stamp it down there like that. Okay, and then we're just going to pop out these last few pieces. And then we're going to put it onto the card. Now, obviously, where you've got all this die cut, you do want that to kind of stick down, so just put a little bit of extra glue there. Because we put water on it, it will be a little bit bumpy, so you can just wait until you've got to this point, so you've done the stamping and you've stuck it down, and then what you can do is you can just put it under a book just to make sure it's completely flat. But I don't mind a little bit of wrinkle in the card because you've got all the die cutting bits. So, you know, it is a little bit bumpy, but that doesn't worry me too much. And then that's going to go on the front there. And then all we're going to do is just add some rhinestones. I'm going to add some blue ones and purple ones. blue on there actually, and I'll those there. So here is the finished card. Let me just show you. This is the other one with the darker colours of ink. So every time you do this technique, it will be different. And all you need is ink and some acetate. I find that it works really well with just 2 or 3 colours. Any more than that and it does get a bit muddy. And again, with all colour work, just avoid putting red and green together because you'll get a shade of brown, which generally you don't want on your projects. It goes a bit muddy. You want the colours to kind of stay clear. All of the products that you've seen in today's video you can purchase from my online store, whether you're on my blog or on YouTube. Just scroll down and you'll find clickable links. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.